Hi guys, today's your daily update from me, CT Tamura, also known as Carrie Tamura, also known as the Real Estate Nerd on Instagram and Facebook. So a lot of people have been asking me about rent. The multiple friends and clients have been like, CT, what are they doing about rent issues now? They're doing mortgage things, but no rent relief. What's going on? And this is a good question. My answer to them has been, I'm sure somebody's thinking about this. I'm sure they're talking about it. It's probably a little bit more of a complicated situation because you're not, unlike with mortgages, you're not dealing with banks. You're dealing with landlords. And in some cases, landlords are big institutions. In some cases, landlords are like just a family or a person who just owns, a two-family building in Brooklyn, right? And in that case, that rent could be super important to the person that is the landlord in that case. You have people on fixed income, older people who are retired who depend on rent in order to survive. And not to say that that is necessarily the majority of these rent situations, but it's a little harder to mandate things, I feel like, for landlords, because not all landlords are the same. They're not all the same situation, and there are a lot of private individuals, people who aren't necessarily super wealthy billionaires who own high-rise buildings in Manhattan. So I think that's part of the reason why you haven't seen any legislation yet affecting renters. But what did happen is a few days ago, the Governor Cuomo in New York had a press conference where he said that this was addressed. And I'm going to show you an article in The Real Deal that addresses this. So Cuomo says New York took care of the rent issue, but has no policy in place. So the rent payments are coming due in the next few days. So people are wondering about this. This was in response. The took care of the rent issue was in response to a question about rent relief for those affected by the coronavirus, and he said that renters cannot be evicted for non-payment of rent. He did not elaborate, but he was referring to his judge's memo suspending eviction proceedings indefinitely. Okay, so the thing about this is that I think there is, rent suspension should definitely be on the table. This is the people that are being hardest hit by this, are renters. And by losing their jobs, there are a lot of people who may not, especially in New York City, there are people who don't own their places, so they can't get mortgage suspension. So what are they going to do if they can't afford to pay the rent? Yes, they can't be evicted, but that doesn't mean they still don't owe that rent. It doesn't actually help them in that way. And what if 2 months from now the judge allows eviction proceedings, and then landlords decide they want to get rid of people that they didn't like, that didn't pay their rent for 2 months, and can't catch up with the rent because they're just trying to make ends meet as it is, right? This is sort of the issue. So I think that rent suspension should be on the table, absolutely. And that should be on the table with corresponding reductions in taxes for landlords who are not receiving rent. That's one idea that I think could work. Another idea I think is that Congress needs to sort of get off its ass and figure out a stimulus package that is going to actually help the little people, the people, the renters, the people, and the people who have mortgage payments as well. It's great that we have all these stimulus packages keeping the market afloat, which is important for the economy, the working of the economy. But also, this was one of the issues that we had in 2007, 2008, which is $1 trillion, $800 billion, whatever the amount was that was pumped into the economy. The question is, how much of that money actually got to the regular people? And one of the things that the Democrats have suggested yesterday was in their economic stimulus package was that this would be more of a grassroots, ground up, dare we say, trickle up economy. Thank you, Andrew Yang, for reminding us of that idea. And so that the average person on Main Street gets money injected into their pocket so that they can then do things like buy food and pay the rent. these are the people that need it the most. So let's get the money to them, or let's get rent suspensions to them, one way or the other. What do you think? Let me know. I would be very curious to hear. And if you want to comment, you can do so at either of, I am on Facebook as the Real Estate Nerd, and I'm on Instagram as the Real Estate Nerd _NYC, where you can see all these videos I'm posting. And feel free to comment. Okay, that is it for today. I hope you have a good morning, day, evening, whatever it is. Stay engaged and stay healthy, and don't forget to exercise and learn how to meditate. That would be my advice. And look at real estate.